got all this string, all this cord, and I'm gonna tie it on, again, with a square knot over here. If you're sitting in the chair, this is the back right leg, so it is stage right, not audience right. And you're just gonna tie your square knot. Once again, first step of tying your shoes twice, nothing weird. And tug on it. See, now it's good and snug. You can start this weaving at the edge of, so the tenon here tapers down. You can start it right at the edge of where the octagon begins, or you can start it at the end of the tenon. Because these chairs are going to be used in the hand recruit, I'm starting it back like all the way right next to the leg because I want as much material on here as possible, just to, you know, prolong the life of the seat. And so that's why I'm doing that. You don't have to. You could start it here and end it here. Start here, here. It's up to you. Dio's choice. Now, the way we weave this is it's a two-part twill, two-weave twill. It's a twill of two. And the way we're gonna do it is by going first over two, and then under two, and then over two, and then under two, and then over two, and under two, like this. What'd I say, over two? Sure. Over two, under two. So I'm gonna lift those two. Over two, under two. So I'm gonna lift these two. Over two, under two, lift those two. Over two, under two. Over two, under two. Oh, look at that, over two at the end. Handy. And then you just pull the whole thing through again like you're on a ship and you're shivering timbers, I don't know. Something rigging. Anyway. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. To do it on the bottom, if you have an eagle eye, you can just do it like this. From above, you can just take it and look very carefully and say, ah yes, two there, over, under, I am master weaver, have done this so many times. This is me being sarcastic, I am not a master weaver, I have done this some amount of times though. Or if that seems like a nightmare, you can flip it over and just you turn the chair upside down, basically do the same thing and just like flip it every time. Either way is legit. Also, don't be too worried about the bottom in terms of like messing up the design. Like if you mess up the design on the bottom, it is totally fine. It will still be strong. And what we're really worried about is it looking nice up top. So don't worry about that. Once again, pulling it through. Oh, I forgot one important detail over here, but you may have caught it. I went around, before I went down underneath to here, I went around the rung. Around this rung, around this rung. You must go around the rungs. If you just weave back and forth across this, you will not have a sturdy chair. It will not be a good time. Go around the rungs, because they're what's gonna hold most, like, you know, their share of the weight of the seat. So around the rung I went and down underneath to the warp on the bottom side. I'm just gonna actually hold that so you can see there's actually two layers of that light sort of mint green string, yeah? So I'm currently weaving across the bottom layer, or have woven across the bottom layer. And I'm pulling all the cord through. Dun, dun, dun. And just give it a tug. Then just kind of slide it up, keep it nice and straight. You're gonna take the end again, and this time, last time I went over two, right? This time I'm gonna only go over one. Okay, so I'm going over this one, and then I will immediately go under two, over two, under two. And weaving a twill, the only thing that changes is the thing at the beginning of the row. Everything else stays over two, under two, the whole way across. That's what's gonna make the design. So this was on over two is the last thing I did. Going over one this time and under two immediately. Savvy? All right, and so for the bottom this time, I've gone around my rung. The last time I went under the first two, so I'm just gonna go under one this time. And go across. Now, we went over two, and then over one. Now, we're gonna go under two. Like that. over 2, under 2, blah, blah, blah. So the pattern so far has been over 2, over 1, under 2. You can probably guess what's coming next. And coming around to the bottom, I previously went under 2, under 1, so I'm gonna go over 2. And went under 2 previously, so I'm gonna go under 1 this time. And then over 2, under 2, blah, blah, blah. All right, now you can start to see a pattern emerge. Oh wow, you can see it really well on camera. I never noticed that. See how it looks like stairs? Like it's just kind of coming down like step, 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 diagonal across this way. That's your twill. Twills are great. They're so strong for reasons maybe I'll get into later in the video. This twill, because it's an over 2, under 2, is in a repeat of 4. So you went over 2, over 1, under 2, under 1. Now you're gonna start back at the beginning, over 2. And it just continues like that, and we'll bring that diagonal all the way across. If you look closely at your denim jeans, they are woven in a twill like this. Cotton canvas fabric that they use for sails and military things is a twill. It's because, unlike a basket weave, which you would think of as the traditional like over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, which puts a lot of strain on like every single strand the whole time. Like this way, the strain of being sat upon or being in the wind on a ship or whatever is sort of shared more evenly among, like you have 4 strings doing the work that in just a basket weave only 1 string would be doing. So it's like a 4-to-1 boost strength, nice. As far as getting across more quickly, on the front I'm lifting just the 2 that I want to go underneath. Like I don't even really think about the ones I'm going over. I'm just like under, boom, under, boom, under, boom, making sure my finger doesn't accidentally catch, 3 or 1 for on the top. And then on the bottom, my 2 hands are working together a little bit differently. And the best way I can kind of describe how I think of it is that as I'm going under, I'm throwing it to the next place where I know it needs to go. Like if you're playing Space Invaders, another like shooty, like space aliens kind of game, you have to shoot your lasers at like where the ship's going to be, right? Like not where it is right now. So I'm just putting my fingers where I know they need to go. Like it's ready to catch, every 2, ready to catch. So that's the fastest rhythm I've found for weaving on the bottom. Is that sort of like Space Invaders style mindset, where you're thinking not about like where the warp is, or where the weft is now, but where it needs to go and where it's going to be. Because if you try and think too hard about where it is now, it will break your brain. It's kind of like trying to think if like, Charlie was born in May of 1967, how old will he be in October of 2015? Like, it's, it can make it seem harder than it is. So just, throw and catch on the bottom there. Tension-wise, don't worry about keeping these crazy tight. The tension of you just pulling through and giving a good tug will be plenty. When you get to these last couple of rows up front, you're gonna be really like squishing your fingies trying to get in between these tiny little spaces. So I wouldn't try and weave all the way to the bar. What I do is usually leave about 1 centimeter, and after the final weave across, I'll just scoot everything forward a little bit so that it's all, covered over, but you don't have to get out like, a darning needle or something. That would be not fun. Yeah, this is the worst. Save yourselves the trouble. And once you get that last one looped around in the front, Instead, you can just scoot the rest of them forward to meet it, like that. A little bit of fingernails, a little bit of just like, you know, like you're playing a harp or something. Yeah, a twirl. All right, now to finish and tie this off, I'm gonna flip the chair upside down and all right, chair's upside down. The string is over on this side. It's coming from this rung right here, which you can't really see, but it's fine. That's not what we're tying it off to. I'm gonna cut with, I don't know, 10 inches to spare, something like that. Note the end. And I prefer not to tie off to the rung because it's really hard to conceal the knot that way. I actually tie off to the strings that are down here because at this point you've woven a sturdy enough seat that you can attach this very last string on the very front of the chair to some other strings and it's fine. It's not gonna like, you know, collapse on someone someday or like all unravel or whatever. You can weave it over if you want. You can go just over, under, super loosey-goosey. It doesn't matter what route you take. I guess I'll just do a little over, under. And then I'm gonna grab, I don't know, these two here. Doesn't matter if it's the light green, dark green, literally just tying it off to something. And I'm passing it down in there. And then I just loop it around itself and tie it off. And again, I'm tying it, the piece that I had, around some existing pieces rather than like tying them together. It's really more of just tying one thing around another thing. And that last step, I guess you could take this tail and just tuck it up inside of the seat so it's concealed. Man, look at that. That's the bottom. And there's the top. Look at that. 2x12. Made it to the end. That is the last step in making your 8th grade shaker chair. If you've made it this far, I salute you. This is a hard thing to do on a normal year, and man, has this year been the furthest thing from normal. And you guys have knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see you all with those chairs when we are gathered again, perhaps outstanding in a field, outstanding in the field of woodworking. I'm really proud of you guys. This was fun. It was weird and fun, and I can't wait to see you again. Okay, good luck.